All right, guys. So we're going to jump into, I think, a really good topic tonight. But first, as always, we'll go through a couple of announcements. First, some upcoming things that I want you to know about, and some tips and all that good stuff. And then we will move into the whole tracking macros versus tracking habits, which one, when, how to interact between the two, all of that. So as far as some announcements, all check-ins have been completed and reviewed at this point for the week. Please try and have those turned in, Sunday, Monday, so that I can get those back to you in a good amount of time. The custom branded app is now available, which is awesome. So if you have like my NH Fitness platform downloaded and you did it within any time before today, now when you download it, or if you go to the app store and you download it, you just log in with your regular credentials that you have for trainerized stuff, and then it will come up with all of our colors, and it'll come up with me in there. And then on the main dashboard, which is really cool, we have our food cheat sheets that we always use as go-tos, which is super helpful. So you can refer to those whenever you're like, I need a protein source and I don't remember what to eat. All of them are on there: the regular one, the snack one, the vegan one, the lactose-free one, the gluten-free one. Like, there's all kinds in there, so you can use those to your needs. And then also, if you click on the more, which is the three little dots, and you go in there, it'll direct link you to all of our regular go-to stuff, like First Form supplements, First Form gear, going to my site and getting supplement samples is in there, any NH Fitness gear stuff that you want, invest in yourself coaching. There is all kinds of stuff in there that will be super helpful to help you get wherever you need to be, find whatever links you need, whatever support documents you need, right there. So that's all in there. So if you, like I said, downloaded it before, just go into the App Store, search for NH Fitness, or I can send you the direct link if you need it. And then you can download that, log in with what you logged in with before, and it will load all of our stuff up. All of your stuff will look exactly the same, just with our colors and everything now. And then you can delete that old app, the yellow app, and you'll be all set. So we'll be all good there. If you have any questions on that at all or any difficulties, just let me know. Our first buy-in challenge will be available to purchase on January 1st and will begin January 15th, go through the beginning of March. We're calling it, like, I don't know what I'm going to call it yet, but some sort of like be ready for spring break or be ready for spring and that kind of thing. So knowing Iowa, it's not going to be nice enough for any sort of spring wear in March, but we're going to roll with it. So that's going to be the first buy-in challenge. There'll be more details to come on that as soon as I get them all ironed out. There's also going to be a hormone or stress reset boot camp ready and available on February 1st. And then that will begin February 15th. So if you feel like you are a stress anxious ball all the time, or if your gut's getting affected by all of your anxiety and all of those things, this is going to be the boot camp for you. It'll last 4 to 6 weeks. I'm not sure which time span we're going with for sure. But I am planning to have that come out February 1st and go through the beginning of March as well. There is going to be a bands only program releasing January 1st. I'm getting all of that recorded this week, which is exciting. There will also be a core add-on program, like a legit following your core add-on program, available on January 1st too. Don't forget to participate in the December blackout board. We brought those back this time, which is a lot of fun. So don't forget to get that going. There's still plenty of time to get all of those squares done and get entered in for the giveaway. And it's just a good time. 12 days of appetizers for free. Don't miss out on that. There's just so many good ones in there. I kind of forgot like which ones were all in there until they've been coming through on my email. I'm like, oh yeah, those were really good. I should make those again. Today was the turkey meatballs, and those things were stinking delicious. So it's really, really perfect for your potlucks at work, for any sort of parties where you have to bring a dish to share. Gives you something different to bring, instead of just bringing the same old, same old. It's just a nice little refreshing idea there. So 12 days, free recipes. It's on my website. If you need the link, let me know. And then please keep sending over any 1P order numbers that you make. That's always incredibly helpful. Keep on sharing about the new app. If you love a workout, take a screenshot of it, talk about it, tag me in it, whatever you want. And then keep on talking about our Facebook community. If you're loving being in the group or things that you're learning in there, talk about it, share about it, invite people in. And then the podcast, any sort of post that I may make. If anything I'm doing is helping you, just share, talk about it all that you want to. I'm happy to help whomever. So that's it for the announcements piece. We're going to jump into tracking habits versus tracking macros now. So I think this can get really confusing. So I wanted to break it down into some more bite-sized pieces for you. So why track macros is going to start with. So what are macros in the first place? Because we have some people in here that are a little bit newer. So macros are your proteins, your carbs, and your fats. And basically what that means is the various combinations that make up our foods. So why track? Why do we need to track macros at least at some point? Because tracking helps you learn what your food choices are actually made of and how much they add up throughout the day at the end of the day. Because a lot of people don't realize that what they're having throughout the day adds up a ton real fast, and they didn't realize it. So that's something that I think is really important for tracking macros, is just to purely learn how fast things can add up and what different foods are actually made out of. So those are the main reasons for that. It's also going to help you learn what serving sizes truly look like. Now, why is it important to know what serving sizes look like? Why is it important to know, how to be able to guesstimate? Because if you're wanting to live a lifestyle when you're through tracking macros or in between tracking macros, you should know about what 4 ounces of chicken looks like. You should know what a serving size of cottage cheese looks like. You should know what a serving size of pasta looks like, right? So that way, when you go somewhere, you go on vacation, you go on a date, you go to an event, you can honestly understand what you're putting in your body and know about how much you should really probably be taking in order to satisfy what your body needs. So it's going to help you learn to live that healthy lifestyle when you are not tracking macros. So that's why it's important to track for a while to learn what these different serving sizes actually look like. So tracking can actually also help myself, Jenna, and Jamie hold you accountable to your plan so you can reach your goal much quicker. So if you have a very specific goal, it's going to be really helpful for you to be tracking so we can help you get there much more specifically. And the other reason, before I jump into other things, is simply eating healthier, which is what so many people say. I've been eating healthier, but I can't make any progress. Well, simply eating healthier just doesn't work for most people because the general population doesn't know how to do that. Everybody's definition of eating healthier is so drastically different. It's nearly impossible to know that your definition of eating healthier matches what my definition of eating healthier is. So a lot of times when people say that they're eating healthier, they're actually under eating, or they're not having any protein importance at all. They're only shopping in the health food section, which, yes, there's some good options in there, but there's some junk in there too. Don't get me wrong. Or, we're also choosing like pretty packaged foods that are still really processed, but they say healthy on them. Right. That's going to be where we run into issues. So we want to make sure that we understand what our foods are adding up to, no matter what part of the grocery store we're getting them from. So that's going to be those reasons for tracking. Now, there's downfalls, right? There's downfalls to tracking, especially this time of year. It can be harder to do if you're traveling, if you're at events, or if you're at parties often, AKA the whole month of December, right? Because most of us are traveling somewhere. We're going to an event or a party. We have a holiday thing coming up. All these things happen. So it makes it a lot harder. And I'm not saying that we can't do it through hard things. I have, but what can happen is it can create frustration. It can cause a poor relationship with food due to feeling like you have to restrict yourself because you don't know exactly what, Aunt May's snickerdoodle salad has in it, right? How are you going to know? I'm going to bet a lot of carbs and fats, right? Probably not a whole lot of protein. You're laughing. Snickerdoodle salad sounds really good. I don't know what that is. I just made it up. I'm thinking I should create that. But with all that, right, we don't know what those things add up to. So it makes it really hard and frustrating to want to stick with it when we have to guess all the time. And so it can also kind of cause a lot of quitting if you can't actually follow through and do everything to the T. So I don't want that to happen to you. And that's why we are moving into like the what to maybe do instead. So tracking habits is what can often become the thing that we revert to instead. So most people in here and that I coach and myself, we go in through periods of tracking all of our food on most days and then taking certain days to simply track habits instead. That's often what a lot of us kind of ebb and flow out of. And it makes it a lot simpler. It's not like you're cheating or anything because you're going to be learning how to follow these habits, which I have some of these laid out. But it's going to create that balance that helps you maintain a body composition that you're after and your sanity this time of year. I don't want you to scrutinize yourself for enjoying a sugar cookie while, decorating them with your kids during your traditional holiday cookie weekend. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. I don't want you to feel guilty for that. I want you to enjoy that. But if you follow your habits that you have in line, like your non-negotiables, your conditions for following good habits, that sugar cookie ain't going to make one big difference at all in your progress long term. And it's going to help keep you sane up here and enjoying life with your kids, right? Those are the things that we want. And so habits that I'm talking about, these can include intentionally moving every single day. Doesn't mean you got to hit CrossFit every day. Doesn't mean that you have to get an assigned workout done every day. Maybe you go for a 10-minute walk. As long as you move intentionally every day, that can be a great goal for anyone. Always prioritizing protein. I don't care if you're eating 3 sugar cookies or whatever it is, put protein next to it. Have a Greek yogurt, have a protein shake, something, put protein next to it. That's going to help a ton. Always prioritizing protein along every meal and snack. If you're doing a tracking habit thing, make sure you're always pushing that with yourself throughout the whole day. That's going to help keep you in line as well. What happens when we eat protein? We probably aren't going to be as hungry, right? Our cravings are going to be a lot less. We're going to stay fuller longer. We're probably going to eat less sugar cookies that way too. Winning. That's what we're going for. Prioritizing water is another one that a lot of people have. Drinking X number of ounces of water a day. That's going to also help keep you fuller longer. It's going to help satisfy thirst, which is often confused for hunger. All of those things can help with energy and brain clarity and all of those. A lot of people do step goals. We can always do that, right? Ashley's over there knocking them out right now. That's great to see. We can also do gratitude. I find that when we practice gratitude every day and we practice saying that we're grateful for something or someone, it helps us think with a little bit clearer mind. We're a lot less negative. We're inviting more positive energy into our lives. And I know that it sounds really hippy dippy, whatever, but it is absolutely accurate. You invite more positive energy into your life. You make a lot more positive decisions as well. So practice gratitude every day. A lot of people like to do house chores, like the minimal daily ones. Maybe you tidy up the kitchen before you go to bed. Maybe you do 1 load of laundry a day. Maybe you wipe down the counters before you go to bed. Maybe you lay out your workout clothes before you go to bed. Whatever it is, right? All that stuff can be something. Another one could be reducing processed foods as much as possible. If you're tracking habits, this is a great one to hit home on, right? So that way, if you're reducing processed foods as much as possible, you're still giving yourself that wiggle room to enjoy that cookie, to enjoy the, fast food or whatever here and there. But you're not giving yourself the green light to go hog wild all day long, all weekend long, right? If you're reducing that processed food as much as possible, maybe we have a really fun meal or snack, but then the next one's a great choice. Like this past weekend, oh my goodness, I had this like turtle brownie thing from that small town homemade bakery. It was dense and it was so good. But the meal immediately following was chicken, sweet potatoes, and raw zucchini, right? Like there's no reason that you can't enjoy something processed full of all the things that we probably shouldn't have all the time, but then follow it with something better because you're tracking a habit. It just gives you a lot more opportunity, and there's a lot more things we can add on there, but these are just a lot of the good go-to ones. So these are going to help keep healthy habits in line. They're also going to just like help get you away from like the all or nothing mindset, to get you away from the winning or losing mindset, away from the black and white of progress. Not everything's got to be black and white. Not everything has to be a win or a loss. Not everything has to be one way or the other. You can mix and match. You can ebb and flow. You can maintain and do healthy, and then you can try and dial in and dig in farther later. You don't have to be all in or all out all the time. That is something a lot of you really need to learn. It was something I had to learn too. So like I was saying earlier, you may enjoy some sugar cookies. And I say this because we do a sugar cookie decorating thing every year. I always end up licking my fingers from way too much frosting. I get a tummy ache. It's all fine. I go for a walk. The kids go buzzing around the house and they pass out from their sugar high. It's great. And with all of that, but it'll be a habit tracking day, right? So with that, I also know I'm going to go for a walk that day or a lift, depending what day we do it on. I also know I'm going to push protein that day. I also know I'm going to clean up my kitchen that day. Those are my habits. So when I do those things, I still feel like I'm winning the day, even though I enjoyed too many sugar cookies and way too much colorful frosting. It's okay every once in a while. You can still win your day when you do habit tracking. So that's something I really, really, really want to hit home for you guys. That's also why we're doing a habit challenge in our platform for the rest of this month. If you get going in there, I found I can add you into it as you go, as long as you're in intermediate or unlimited. You get points for completing your habits. You get points for coming within 20% of your nutrition goals, which is great. You get points for completing workouts and walks. All these things are great. It just helps you build these habits stronger. So even without being perfect, you're still making progress, which is great. Another thing I did want to talk on, can habit tracking become a full-time lifestyle? Yes. So that is my ultimate goal for all of you, really, is to be able to make this a lifestyle at some point, to do habit tracking full time, or at least majority of the time, or ebb and flow out of it, depending on what time of the year it is. For instance, right now I'm in this gain, right? Because I had to do this. And come January, I'm going to do a little trim down, January, February, March, really slow. Once I find that maintenance happiness, I'm going to move into this whole habit tracking thing majority of the time, at least for a while, because I need to give my brain that break from being so perfect, so on, right? And that's what I want a lot of you to understand, is we can go through these things where we're dialed in and then we maintain with habits. We dial in, we maintain with habits. We don't have to be so balls to the wall all the time, okay? From there, let's see. Macros at that point just becomes a toolkit, or a tool in your toolkit. So we can use it as needed depending on which goal you're attacking. And then let's see. Oh, the other thing that's really cool too that I found, there is an option in our new platform that if you get to this point, which I might do myself, is that you just take pictures of your meals in order to track them. So there's no actual scanning or searching for anything. You have a slice of pizza and a beer, you take a picture of the slice of pizza and a beer, and there it is. Or you have overnight oats with a protein shake, you take a picture and there it is. And that kind of helps hold you accountable to your habits without actually having to hit anything specifically. So that's an option that we can always look at for you as well, to make it more of a lifestyle piece. Let's see. I think that's about it. They both have their place for helping with the importance and in progress for you. And then you can go in and out of tracking macros for specific goals, like I was saying, but tracking habits will always remain intact. So just remember, whatever habits you're building are the ones that are going to stick with you. Macros come and go, habits stay. So build strong habits. But that is what I've got. Gosh, I talked for a really long time. I'm so sorry. Do you guys have any questions at all? The dog even moaned. He's so bored. All right, cool. All right, guys. Well, I can let you go. Have an excellent night. As always, if you need anything, you know where to find me. And I will talk to you all later on. Bye, everybody.